What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. And I guess you could say that this is my hardcore rebrand video. As you could tell by the heading and the profile picture, it is a completely different channel. We are doing only Jets content. If you guys haven't picked up the hint from the last 2 weeks or so with the videos that I've been putting out, but the hardcore rebrand, I have a special guest for my rebrand video, and that is Matt O'Leary. We're here for a 7-round New York Jets mock draft. Matt, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate taking the time out of your day.
Yeah, absolutely excited. It's that time of year we get to go into it and do some predictive mock drafts and have some fun. It's that time of year.
Isn't it sad that, like, not only is it this time of year for us, but it's been this time of the year since like the beginning of December, and it's been this time of the year for the last 14 years too?
Yeah, in one of these years, I would like to push my mock draft Mondays back into like February, but it feels like I start getting the questions around November. When are you bringing the series back? And it's like I'd rather be talking about playoff games or positional seeding and stuff like that rather than all right, who are the Jets going to take in the top 10?
God, it's just such a it's just a sad cycle that we go through every year.
Beautiful. So not crazy surprising that Cam the quarterbacks go, Travis Hunter goes, Abdul Carter, Mason Graham, Will Campbell is maybe one of the not surprises. I think he's in the running to go pretty early, but let's take a look at some of the trade options just to see what we're looking at. I don't know how far back we really want to go here. Yeah, the Cowboys at 12, 16, 21, 25. Okay. So I'm going to stick and pick here. And I think depending obviously, excuse me, on what happens with Aaron Rodgers, that might depend on what happens with Devontae Adams. And if Devontae Adams is out the door, I think wide receiver becomes a pretty big need for the Jets. So I think I'd go Tech McMillan here.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you on that one. I mean, that seems pretty simple there. It really does. Wow, that goes real fast. It does become a massive need if because you have to figure at this point in their career that Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers are a package deal. So that leaves you with G5 and Alan Lazard basically, but Lazard's probably not going to be on the Jets, I would think, next year. But yeah, I love that pick here. And oh man, Colston Loveland being on the board here at number 42. Tough one for me here. I was actually curious before I make this pick, just kind of picking your brain on the way that you do your mocks. What is your what do you classify as your maybe top? I don't want to say top five. I feel like that's a lot. Maybe your top three needs off rip. So obviously you have receiver, and then what would you say for you? Are you prioritizing after receiver maybe in round one?
Yeah, I think some of it's going to be dependent on free agency, and that's hard to figure out at this point. But interior defensive line, I think they need another edge. Corner might be a need too, depending on what happens with DJ Reed. I think they need two new starting safeties, so I would say
Yeah,
safety as well. And tight end to give you another position on the offensive side of the ball is another big one for me.
100%. If you look at it, what Jeremy Ruckert's the only tight end right now that's under contract for next year. I think Kenny Yeboah and Tyler Conklin are both free agents. So yeah, that's a tough one there. I really would love to take Colston Loveland here, but I don't think going wide receiver and tight end back to back is something the Jets are probably going to do. I want to see what defensive linemen are on the board right here. I'm very very interested in Xavier Watts here at number 42. But I'm just going to take a look and see what we have here at
Sure.
the defensive line just to get an idea. I do like Alfred Collins. Deone Walker is someone I do like, but I don't know. In my last mock, I did take Deone Walker in the second round, but I traded back and I had 2 second-round picks, and I took Harold Fannin and Deone Walker. Alfred Collins is interesting to me. I think I'm going to hold off on that. I think I'm going to go back to safety. I think I'm going to take Xavier Watts here at number 42 overall. Just to, I mean, last year and this year, he's been an exceptional player for Notre Dame. One of the most talented DBs in the entire draft. I really don't think you can go wrong. He's someone that I feel like could really play all over the secondary for the Jets, and I feel like they really like that type of versatility. You look at who they had playing for them at the end of this year, especially with someone like Chuck Clark, who is one of the more versatile DBs in the NFL in his prime, I would say. So I think Xavier Watt is going to be the pick for me here at number 42 overall.
I like it. And big need, like I was saying, I look at, the Jets needing two safeties, a strong safety and a free safety. And like the versatility that you're able to land there in the second round.
100%. And you are up now, my friend.
So obviously they're not going to go running back, and I don't really see quarterback as potentially a need. I'd be curious if you could pull up the defensive line
Sure.
in this spot. You know what? I think I'm gonna go with the interior in Daryl Jackson here. I look at that as a really big need for the Jets, having someone next
100%.
to Quinnen Williams. I don't see Javon Kinlaw back. I don't see Solomon Thomas back. Whoever
Thank
Robert,
God.
yeah, right. But wherever Robert Saleh ends up as a defensive coordinator, I think you could pencil in Solomon Thomas there. But yeah, they need some depth there. So I'll take Daryl Jackson.
Someone that I feel like if you're not familiar with PFF, I feel like is someone that kind of flies under the radar with the other draft simulators, but Jackson's a heck of a player, and I feel like he's been super undervalued so far. I don't know if he's in any bowl games or the Shrine Gamer at all, but I would love to see him kind of, try and boost his stock in one of those games at some point through the draft process. Let's see here. We have just to take a look at our picks so far. The first three: Ted McMillan, Xavier Watts, Daryl Jackson Jr. so far, really going after those needs. I'm going to take a look at tight end here at number 109. I feel like this tight end class is probably one of the strongest positional classes in the entire draft. Uh, okay. Ooh, maybe I could wait on that. I'm very interested in Terrence Ferguson here. I like Jake Brennan still a lot as well. Yeah, maybe that's something I could wait on here, I guess. I'm going to take a look at offensive line here. I'm going to take a look at maybe a potential right tackle. Chase Lund is someone that I like quite a bit here. That might be the pick, actually, for me. I think Lund is someone who's a little long and maybe a little light, someone that I don't think is going to be able to play left tackle at the next level, but has more than enough length in his arms and just his body in general to play right tackle. So I think I'm going to take Lund here at number 109.
I like that. And, the Jets could use a right tackle of the future. I don't know where you stand on bringing Morgan Moses back or if you want to go a different direction at tackle, but I do think they need to start finding mid round contributors on the offensive line. So this is a good start.
I think I think I said in my rebuilding the Jets 2025 roster, I said if he was game to come back as like someone that might not start, maybe someone that you can't guarantee him the right tackle spot. I feel like even though he was tough and he did play through injuries basically the whole season when he did play, I feel like that's someone that at his age, what 34 at this point now, I don't really think you could kind of guarantee him the starting right tackle spot. I'd be definitely willing to give him a contract to bring him back as someone that will probably potentially start at some point, but I don't really think he's my go-to right tackle right now.
Fair. Totally fair. Especially at his age too. So
Mhm.
I like that play.
All right, you're up. We got pick 143 now.
Okay, so fifth round. I might take a look at the tight ends. You piqued my interest in the last round, and let's see. Oh,
Wow, a
yeah,
lot of talent there.
yeah. There is. Um, Man, they're a little lower on Mitchell Evans, I think, than
Mhm.
I am in particular. But hard to pass up the Iowa tight ends, man. I think I like Luke Lakely here.
Yeah. I mean, really, I feel like you could kind of throw a dart at that board, and whoever you hit is someone that is going to contribute in some way, shape, or form here. Even someone like Bryson Nesbitt, who's probably a little bit on the lighter side for a tight end, someone that'll probably be like more of a hybrid, someone that'll probably play in the slot a little bit too. I loved Mitchell Evans preseason. I loved Mitchell Evans. I kind of fell, I don't want to say out of love with him, but he did slide down my board a little bit, but still someone that I feel like if you were to take him here, that would be like a fifth round contributor for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a
I'm with you. But
yeah,
any one of those, I think you had maybe 3 or 4 guys who you could have been in consideration there.
yeah. This is looking nice here. Ooh, 156 here. I see Kyle McCord on the board. That's someone that I don't know where you stand on Kyle McCord, but that's someone that I'm very interested in, especially in the fifth round here, going towards the sixth. I feel like that's a perfect spot to take someone. I know, will we take Jordan Travis in the fifth round last year as well, but I don't know where you stand on the whole quarterback thing. I'm willing to take Kyle McCord here and kind of hope that he's someone that we could develop over time. So I think I am
Okay.
going to take my punt on Kyle McCord here at 156.
Yeah, I don't love this quarterback class,
Mhm.
but if you're gonna throw a mid-round dart at somebody, I think McCord is an interesting target.
Yeah, I just, for me, my last mock that I did, it was a toss up between McCord and Will Howard. And I don't know about you, but over the course of the college football playoffs, I feel like Will Howard's been making some unbelievable throws that we've never even knew that he was capable of making. So seeing that little wrinkle in his game, I'm like, maybe there is a little bit something more to him. And he's got what, he's 6'5, 245 pounds. He's got great size, a good enough arm. That's someone that I'm interested in too.
Okay. Yeah, I could get behind that.
But I mean, where do you stand on Jordan Travis? What do you think going forward with him?
I think if you get anything out of him, I would consider that a win, but I don't know if I can go into the year and being like, yeah, our contingency plan or our long-term developmental guy is Jordan Travis. Just he hasn't played. It's going to be almost 2 years since he's played by the time he comes back. I know he had the setback with the injury this year, which was really unfortunate. I'd like to see him, but we just have no idea what he is yet. We haven't even seen him at a practice yet at the NFL level, so it's hard to really gauge at this point for me.
Very fair, very fair. You are up at pick number 184 here.
I think I'm going to go. He's staring me right in the face, but I think I'm going to go Dennis Sutton here at edge. I want to continue to add on the defensive line, and I think this is a team where when they're at their best, they're rolling multiple guys on that edge. It's not just two guys who
Mhm.
are playing a ton. And assuming you're going to lose, Hassan Reddick in free agency, and hopefully Michael Clemens as a roster cut at some point. I think the defensive line's an area that they're going to look to add in the draft.
When they asked Michael Clemens after he was drafted how he reacted, and he was like, I was in a dark room alone by myself watching the draft. I was like, wow, we have a future Hall of Fame talent here on the Jets. I was like, this guy is an absolute psycho. And he is, but for kind of all the wrong reasons, I feel like.
Yeah, definitely. That one just has not worked out. So time to move on.
I had someone in my comments not too long ago saying, "Oh, why are you cutting Michael Clemens? That's a guaranteed bring back next year." And I was like, "I don't know what you've been watching, sir, but I don't think that that's a guaranteed bring back at all."
Not for
But
me.
I mean, it, I would just love to take Ollie Gordon here, but it just doesn't make any sense with the running backs that the Jets have on, and he has fallen a ton since the hype at the beginning of the season. So that's going to be interesting to see where his landing spot will be. Kind of getting off course with the Jets, just Ali Gordon in general, someone that I really liked. He was when I did my running back rankings. I think he was my fourth ranked running back for the class. Of course, that was preseason, but yeah, just a kind of a fall for grace for him and Oklahoma State just in general this past season. But let's see here, 205. We're looking for guys that could potentially be contributors. I'm looking at linebacker here. There's a couple guys that I was thinking about. Let's see where they're on the board. Don't see. I was looking for Powell from Rutgers there. I don't see him on the board. That's fine. Corners, again, another positional area that we could potentially look at here. Jabbar Muhammad. Yeah. All right. That's going to be the pick here. Jabbar Muhammad. See, that's what I'm saying. I'm not familiar with the PFF board as much as I am with the other ones. I had no idea he would be here, but I think if Jabbar Muhammad is sitting here at pick 205 with the length and the overall athleticism and agility he possesses, I feel like that would be kind of a slam dunk pick here at 205. That's what I was kind of hoping Quantez Stiggers would be for the
Yep.
Jets, and hopefully he could develop into something like that because I can't just throw away the fact that he was the defensive player of the year in the Canadian Football League. I definitely think there's something there, but I don't think if DJ Reed walks, which I do think he will, I wouldn't really feel comfortable having Quantez Stiggers across from Sauce Gardner right away at the beginning of the season. So I'm going to take Jabbar Muhammad with the last pick here.
I like that because then it gives you a contingency plan because you either have a guy like Stiggers or maybe you bring back Brandon Eccles or something like that on the cheap, and now you're in a spot where you have a bit of a competition for that cornerback too.
Ah, there it is. I was going to say we might be. Does that ever happen to you on PFF? You're just sitting here forever waiting
It's just
for.
loading, getting the
Yeah,
loading.
it's just and you're kind of sitting here. We're staring at each other, and it's like, all right, what else? What else are we going to talk about here? But yeah, so that is our mock. Matt, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it. Would love to get you on a couple more times, maybe before we really get into the actual draft season itself.
Yeah, I'd be happy to do it. I think we hit this one out of the park. I love it.
Again, thank you very much, Matt, for coming on. I will link your channel below, but I'm sure if people are watching my video here, they've seen multiple of your videos at this point. But I will definitely link it down below. Thank you so much for coming on today and taking the time out, man.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having me.